Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Wednesday evening now. I'm pre-recording, as you can tell, I'm still in the same clothes. Got a really good video for you now, and we're going to be talking about gleison Bremer, the Juventus centre-back. Got a update around Spurs' interest in Trevor Chalobah, as well as some interesting things to come out from Sky Sports around Spurs going forward into this window, what happened last window. Intriguing things to be said, and hindsight's a wonderful thing is all I can say ahead of talking about it. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, very much appreciated. Welcome along for the journey, and let's jump straight in with the gleison Bremer situation. So from Team Talk, Man United and Tottenham are on alert after Juventus star gleison Bremer discussed his love for the Premier League. The centre-back is also named David Luiz and Vincent Kompany as two defensive idols. Kompany, yeah. David Luiz, no. Simple as that. I just want to have that one in there first and foremost. Look, we know Spurs have kind of always been in and around the Bremer situation. You know, interest, not interest. You've got Paratici's connection to Juventus, and Spurs and Juventus having a decent enough relationship. He would cost an arm and a leg to get from Juventus. He'd cost 60, 70, 80 million. You know, he's not going to be cheap. That's not the market we're in. So unless, you know, a situation occurs where Juventus go, here we go, here's an idea. If Juventus go, really like Pierre Højbjerg, we need the midfielder, fine, we'll wait till the summer. The Spurs go, okay, we like gleison Bremer, we want him, you know, then you do a part exchange with money going to Juventus. You still have to pay 60 odd million probably for him, to be honest. And I still don't see Spurs doing that. So do a couple of players go that way, you know? I don't know. But as much as I like gleison Bremer, and I really do, by the way, I think people go, he wouldn't want to come to Spurs. He'd be sitting on the bench the whole time. He wouldn't want to come to Spurs. You know, we don't rotate very well. I think in the past we've not rotated properly well enough. It's because some of the players in the backup haven't been good enough. I think when you have, you know, four centre-backs, I'm just going to talk about centre-back situation. If you had four centre-backs who were all good, relatively the same in quality, you'd get rotation. Because if you look at Man City, for example, you know, they normally have one of them out at all times. It's quite weird. And this is why you need depth. You know, you've got Ake and Gvardiol playing left back. You've got John Stones playing centre mid sometimes. You've got Ruben Dias, Manuel Akanji, Walker if you really need him to play there. You know, they've got a lot of options back towards there. Hell, if they were really desperate, they could put Rodri at centre back. Because I think sometimes he plays there for Spain even. You know, I think he plays alongside Laporte sometimes with Spain. And this is they rotate really well. When all of them are fit, they rotate really well. You know, Gvardiol might play at the weekend, and then Ake might play in the midweek game. You might have John Stones and Diaz playing in the weekend, then you might have one of them drop off for Akanji playing in the week. We don't have that. You know, when we look at our main two, we look at Van de Ven, we look at Christian Romero, we're like, right, mustard, beautiful, love these two. Behind them, you've got you and me. And you might rate yourself as a footballer, and you might rate me as a footballer, but we're not up to that level of where we would need to be. Now, if you were to sit there and go, we've got Lloyd Kelly sitting behind Van de Ven, and I'm not saying Bremer, because I think that might be a tad bit unrealistic with how much he'd cost. But let's say we signed someone for 30 million, right? Yeah, maybe it's Trevor Chala, but let's just go with there. You might actually sit there and go, yeah, we might be able to rotate a bit more. And coming into next season, when probably going to be in Europe, you're going, right, we're playing twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. You might play a Monday night. Let's say if you're in the Europa League or Conference League, you play Monday night, you might play Thursday night, and you might play Sunday night. You're going to need to rotate. You can't expect Mickey Van de Ven and Romero to play 3 games that week. You're going to have to drop in a Lloyd Kelly and let's say if it was a Trevor Chalobah, you have to drop them in, you know, Thursday night, lads, you're playing. Because in that way, you got Monday to Sunday that Van de Ven and Romero could play because they'd be fit enough. We've not got that, and that's why I talk about how the backup is so important. Desi Adogi, there's nothing behind him. They need the backup left back, especially next season. Right back, I don't rate Emerson Royal. You need another right back there to replace Pedro Porro. You look at the front attack. There's in our team, I would still say, if you look at the 11, right? This might blow a few of your minds. In the 11 that we have, and I expect some players to move on. So take into that into consideration. I think we need about 11 or 12 players still. That's how many I still think we need. Now, I think we might get 1 or 2 in January, but I still think we'll get 5 or 6 in the summer. I still think we'll need more. The reason I say that is because if you move on from Lo Celso, you move on from Højbjerg, you move on from, let's say, the left-back situation, you move on from maybe an attacker, or 2, you're losing 5 or 6 players already. You have to replace them. So already 5 or 6, they go in. So I think you need a keeper still. I still think you need a right-back. You need 2 centre-halves. You need a left-back. You need a number 6, I think Højbjerg's going. I think you need a backup number 8 because Lo Celso go. The other 8, fine. Sarr and Bentancur, I'm happy. I'm happy as Larry with that situation. If let's say you've got Brennan Johnson, Sonny, and Kulusevski as your front 3. Behind them, you've got Richarlison, might be off in the summer. Brian Hill, we don't know where that's going. Solomon, okay, well, let's say Solomon's the backup left wing. Striker, Alejo Veliz, if he's not hit the stride and done well, probably go out on loan, so you're going to need to get another striker in there. And then right wing, you're probably going to need someone there. So you see what I mean, how many we still need. Let's talk the Trevor Chalobah situation. So from Lyle Thomas of Sky Sports, he said that Tottenham have cooled their interest in Chelsea's Trevor Chalobah over injury concerns as Spurs search for new centre-back in January. If you're not aware, he's injured again. He's not really played any football this season, and he's probably going to be back towards the back end of January. It's a shame for him, first and foremost, that he picked up these injuries. He's had a torrid time of things. He's a very talented player, quite versatile, gives you minutes at right back if you truly need, centre back, probably even centre defensive mid if you really needed him to. Perfect modern centre half that would suit Andrew's system to the absolute T. But it isn't there for him right now because of injuries, and Spurs are looking at it going, look, we can't afford to bring someone else in that is injury prone or injured because we already don't have the depth. We don't want to bring in someone that should fix depth then doesn't give us a depth. So I think, Spurs are moving on, and and this is where this next one comes in. I think this is going to be really interesting for some of you. And it came from Lyle Thomas again. He said that Spurs wanted to sign another centre-back in the summer following the departure of Mickey van der Ven. And that desire has only intensified following the hamstring injury that will keep the Dutchman out into the new year. Although there is a preference for another left-footer at centre-back, it is not a deal-breaker, and the club are lining up targets that are either-footed. That last part, music to my ears, that we're lining up loads of targets, different feet, doesn't matter. I think it's important. That's what top clubs do. They have a big old shortlist and go, look, we might not get number 1 because they're not going to want to sell, but we might get 2 and 3. Let's have a look at 2 and 3 a bit more. Man City don't get always their top target. Man United don't. Real Madrid don't. You don't always get your top target. You sometimes do, but you don't always get it. So I think it's smart that we're bringing up a big old shortlist. We're scouting them through. We've got now just over 5 weeks of the January transfer market. We're scouting through all these targets, and I think it's really important that we go into the end of that December going boom, boom, boom. That's the top 3. We go here. They're not budging. They don't want to sell. Right, 2 and 3. Let's go. Let's move. Paratici's on the little black book, pulls it out and goes, right, right, I've got you meeting tomorrow at 2 with this guy for this guy. It's so crucial that we sort centre half out, and I really hope we don't wait until like January 24th to sign a centre half. I hope we get someone in really early, to be honest, and kind of going, look, let's alleviate some of this pressure at centre half. We've got an actual centre half in. He's good to go. Let's get him going. Now, by that point, Romero should hopefully be back, and you might even sit there and go, you got Romero and you got the new fella. All right, we can work with this. You got Mickey still as well. We can work with this. So we'll see. And then the last one from Lyle Thomas again said that Spurs boss Ange Postecoglou is also looking to strengthen in central midfield and on the lookout for another forward. I think centre-back, obviously, that's numero uno. The other 2 areas, central midfield or attack, I'm interested to see what he thinks. And I think he'll look at it and go, look, we're going to get Solomon back in the new year. Maybe even towards the end of this month, because I know he was out for 2 to 3 months. You're going to get Richarlison back. You got Brian Hill. You got Brennan Johnson, Sonny, Alejo Veliz, Kulusevski. I might be missing someone, but that's 7. He might look at it and go, if something pops up, I'm interested to see what they got. But maybe that'll be enough to the end of the season. Because, let's be honest, it was enough for the first little while. It probably wouldn't say it's all their fault that we've dropped off in form. It's not their fault that we had 2 sending officer defenders at Chelsea. But I also think he might be looking at central midfield and going, look, Sarr and Basuma, you'd probably say at least one of them will go deep into the African Cup of Nations or lose them for all of January into February. I think that's when African Cup of Nations, it can go into February. We're going to need someone in there because all it takes is to get another injury in there and we're screwed. Now, Maddison will be back, you think, probably into January, maybe February. So you're losing that one. You see what I mean, how my brain's ticking. But I think central midfield would probably be the area that I might work on a bit more. But if something really pops up attacking-wise that's good, it might be something that you want to revisit because you might move on from a central midfielder, bringing in their replacement and going, we'll have a look at attack now and we'll work from here. We'll see. But guys, at the end of the video, I hope you did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section below. You've got the fact we're going to be looking at centre-half targets either foot, central midfield or attack. Where would you go? What's your thoughts and feelings about that? Obviously, you've got the gleison Bremer link still being there. What are you thinking of that? And obviously, you've got the Trevor Chalobah called of interest. You happy about that? You sad about that? You angry? Let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification for more. But guys, that's the end of the video. I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.